Let's go outside.
Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. If you are looking for home-style food made ketogenic that the whole family will enjoy, then you have come to the right channel. And tonight, we're making cookies. We are making Keto Pecan Sandies, or snowballs, depending on how you garnish them. So let's go ahead and get started.
And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you.
So, seasonally, it is very, very popular to make cookies this time of year. And I am trying to make the holidays easier for you, especially if you were practicing a low-carb lifestyle. So tonight we are indeed making pecan sandies. These only have 4 ingredients. You can also turn them into snowballs if you garnish the top with a little bit more of your powdered confectioner sweetener. So I'm going to show you how I do it both ways. Let's go ahead and get started. So you are going to need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So you are going to need to start with a medium-sized bowl. And inside my bowl, I have a 1/2 cup of softened butter. So a 1/2 cup is 1 stick of softened butter. You don't want it melted and you don't want it hard. You want it room temperature and soft. So I'm going to use a hand mixer just for the ease. If you didn't have a hand mixer, you could do this just with a spatula or a wooden spoon. But I am going to be using my hand mixer for this. Into our softened butter, I'm going to be putting a 1/2 cup of powdered natural sweetener. So you definitely want to look for the word confectioners or powdered. So it's going to be a powdered consistency, and that's what we want because there's only 4 ingredients for these cookies. We do want to have the incorporation happen very quickly. And that's why I'm using a powdered product here. If you do not have access to a powdered natural sweetener, you can grind this up in a coffee grinder or food processor. And I am just going to start creaming this or mixing the butter and the sugar together until it's light and fluffy. And this should only take a minute or 2. I'm going to take this opportunity now to add my extract. You could use vanilla extract if you preferred, but I really enjoy the flavor of almond at Christmas time. And these cookies remind me a lot of crescent cookies that you can find on grocery store shelves, and those are flavored with almond. So that is what I am going to be personally using for my cookies. So I'm just going to put in about a teaspoon of almond extract. I am also going to personally add just a small squeeze of liquid sweetener. I find that for us personally, this helps to offset the cooling taste that erythritol products can sometimes have. But of course, do whatever you would like. If you would like to use some liquid stevia, wonderful, or you can omit this step altogether. I'm just going to combine those ingredients again. Okay, I'm sure you can see that it is very light in color and very creamy, and that is what we are looking for when we cream products together. The next ingredient to go into our bowl is going to be almond flour, and I am going to be putting 2 cups of almond flour in, and they can just be loosely packed. I'm also going to be adding about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I like salt in my baking, and although I have used salted butter, I do find that a little bit of salt helps bring out the flavors, including the almond extract. Now I am just going to briefly combine this with my hand mixer, and it is going to pull together and be very crumbly, and this is what it is supposed to look like, so do not be alarmed. As you can see, our texture is very crumbly, but it will pull together when we start to bring it in. And that is what it is supposed to look like, so you've done everything correctly. So the final thing in the 4 steps of our cookies is pecans, because these are pecan sandies or snowballs. So you definitely want pecans. I have a 1/2 cup of chopped roasted pecans. You could use raw if you don't want roasted, although I find that the flavor is a lot stronger and more pleasant when you do roast them. I have also chopped mine very finely. You could chop yours however fine that you enjoy for your cookies. Now I am going to fold these in by hand. Just use your spatula, just mixing the nuts into your dough. And you can see that our dough has formed a nice big dough ball, which is what we're looking for. It smells very good. It smells like roasted pecans. Okay, so there is our dough. And then we can go ahead and set it aside and prepare our baking sheet. So you're going to need a baking tray of some kind. Mine is a half sheet pan, I believe is the size. And I have a silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you could also use parchment paper. You can find both of them quite readily now. I buy my silicone sheets on Amazon. If you buy parchment paper, you can also find parchment paper at the dollar store. But either one of them are very important because our cookies are so simple and they are going to need to cool on the baking tray. You want to be able to remove them when they are cool, and that is the best way to do it. So the next tool that I recommend that makes things a lot easier when you're baking cookies, especially if you're doing it for the holidays and you're planning on doing quite a few of them, is a cookie scoop or a baller. So mine is about 1.5 tablespoons. And it is going to make it so that all of my cookies turn out the same size. So use whatever size of your cookie scoop that you have or that you want your cookies to be. If you don't have a cookie scoop, you can just use 2 spoons. And I'm just going to slightly press down on my cookie, like that. And I want these to be about 1.5 to 2 inches apart. They are not going to spread a great deal, but they are going to spread a little bit. And you should get roughly 18 cookies or so from this particular recipe. You could easily make additions to this dough if you wanted to. You could add additional nuts or flavorings. You could also put chocolate or dried cranberries. You could do lemon or orange peel. There's lots of things that you could do. Okay, they are ready to go into the oven. So remember that we preheated our oven to 350 degrees. You are going to want to bake your cookies for about 10 to 13 minutes. It's going to vary based on your own personal oven's temperature. So I would start with the lower time. I would start with the 10 minutes, and then you can increase it just by looking at them. You're looking for lightly golden brown around the edges. So you can see that they're nice and golden brown around the edges. So that means they're done. And my cookies ended up taking 11 minutes for my oven. So once again, it is essential that you let the cookies stay on the baking tray until they are fully cooled. Okay, these have cooled, and I have placed some of them on a plate because I want to show you an alternative garnish if you want to make these into snowballs. Yeah. So all that you need to do is take a little bit of your confectioner's natural sweetener and just put it through your little sieve. I'll show you. And then whichever ones you would like to garnish that way, you can just start tapping some sweetener on them. And it looks like they've been out in the cold. So there we go. Keto Pecan Sandies and Keto Snowballs. Okay, here they are. Our Keto Pecan Sandies and Snowballs. And we are going to have CJ do a taste. Hi.
Hi.
It's time for some cookies.
I see. So I'm assuming this is the snowball.
Yes, I gave you one of each.
It's good. These aren't warm, but they're still soft. They're not like super crunchy. I don't know if they get super crunchy.
No, they don't have gluten in them.
So, and the dusting of the powdered confectioner's sweetener, it's not really that sweet at all, really. It's not that much. You eat the pecans really good too. They're really fine. Gives a nice texture. Good job, baby.
Thank you.
Bye. And watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I'm making plans of what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love